Lesson 1-4, subtraction. So we are going to do subtraction of integers. Integers, as a reminder, are positive and negative numbers. And one of the things that we're going to look at today in your interactive notebook is you're going to look at this box right here. Okay, so subtraction, again, we did this in middle school. You're going to keep the first integer, you're going to change the subtraction to addition, and then you're going to change the second integer to its opposite. But the biggest and most important thing is once you're done, then you have to follow the addition rules. So if it's same signs, add the two numbers and keep the sign. But if it's different signs, you're going to subtract the smallest from the largest and attach the sign of the larger number. Okay, so again, you're going to probably have to use two boxes, but start with the subtraction. And if you don't have the addition rules memorized, make sure you are using your interactive notebook to do that. So let's get started with the lesson, and we'll start by reading a little bit. Let's go to a different color here. You can use a number line to see how subtracting integers is like adding integers. This shows the subtraction 5 minus 3 equals 2. So if you start at 0 and you count up 5, there it is, but then you subtract 3, you're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, because you're getting rid of 3, which leaves you at the 2 mark. Okay, so in this case, it would be 5 plus a negative 3, which would give you 2. So all we've done is we have changed the subtraction to an addition, and in the subtraction rules, the second digit goes from a positive number, because if you just hide that, that's a positive 3. Now we're going to add a negative to it. And then we know in our adding rules that when you have different signs, you're going to subtract 5 minus 3, which is 2, and then you're going to take the sign of the largest number, which is positive, so 2 is positive. Subtracting 3 is the same thing as adding a negative 3. And that's what you're doing when you do keep, change, change. Subtracting an integer is the same as adding its opposite, and you can write the subtraction as addition. So let's begin with the example number 1 here, okay? So we're going to take the negative 2 minus the negative 4. Change, so you're going to keep the negative 2. Here's the negative 2 according to these rules right here. Keep the first integer and then change the subtraction to integer. And so if we bounce back over here, they've changed the adding of the opposite of negative 4. So here they changed the subtraction to a positive, and that negative 4 right here is now going to be changed to a positive 4. So then you can find the absolute values. You do not have to do this way. If you can go back to your addition rules, then you're good. But the absolute value of negative 2 equals 2, and the absolute value of a positive 4 is 4. So if you take this look right here, you notice that you have a positive and a negative, which means you need to subtract the two numbers. And that is what they did right here. They took 4 minus 2 and they got 2. There's your answer. Then they went back to this, and which number is the largest? Now notice they didn't go to the original problem. They went to the one that they changed to addition. That is addition, or that's a positive sign, so your 2 needs to be positive. So your answer will be a positive 2. One additional note here, when you have a subtraction and a negative touch each other, I like to teach kids how to combine them and make one large plus sign. Now, if you notice, you still have exactly what they have over here, negative 2 plus a positive 4. And again, your addition rules subtract because one is negative and one is positive. Example number 2. You have a negative 3 minus 6. So we're going to follow those subtraction rules, which are keep, change, change. Keep the negative 3, change the subtraction to addition, and if you hide the subtraction, that's a positive 6. So now it's going to become a negative 6. And once you do all that, you have the addition rules. They use the absolute values, which absolute value of negative 3 is 3, absolute value of negative 6 is 6, which gives you two positive numbers here, okay? 6 plus 3 equals 9. And in our addition rules, they say that when you have the same signs, you're going to add the two numbers. And that's what they did here. 6 plus 3 is 9. And then you're going to attach the sign of, is it both? Is it negative or positive? In this case, it happens to be negative, and that's why you have negative 9 there. And finally, the last example here, you're going to subtract 5 minus a negative 2. So I'm going to show you how I would do this on paper. Some of you are going to need to do this on paper. So I'm going to take my 5. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to change my subtraction to addition. And then I'm going to change, if I hide that subtraction, the opposite of a negative 2, because I got to change this second digit, I'm going to have that as a positive 2. Now I go back to my addition rules. My addition rules say same signs. Add two numbers, keep the sign. 5 plus 2 equals 7. What's the sign of both numbers? 7, or positive, excuse me. And that is a positive 7, and that's what they have right there. I'm going to do number 1, and I'm going to do it in this space right here. Again, when you guys go to the assignment over here on page 11, you're not going to do the tan box, and you are not doing the last two problems. So what we are working on now, again, as I stated, I'm going to do number 1 up here. So I'm going to keep, change, and I'm going to write K, C, C. And where did I get that? I got that right here. Keep, change. And again, that's in your interactive notebook. All right, so keep the negative 1. I'll keep the negative 1. Change the subtraction to addition. I'm going to do that. Hide the subtraction, and that's a negative 3. So I need to change that as well, and that is going to be a positive 3 because you're going to its opposite. Now, do you have same signs or different signs? Well, one is negative and one is positive. That makes it different. Different signs, you are going to subtract. Going back to my work, I'm going to take 3 minus 1, and a lot of you can do this in your head, but 3 minus 1 is 2. And what number is the larger one? That is 3. What sign does it have? It has a positive. So you can put a plus 2 or you can keep it as 2. So my answer is just 2. What I would like you to do is use side scrap piece of paper to do your keep, change on this page. In your answer document, you're going to write out the problem in black, and then your answer is going to be red, much like you did on the previous lesson, 1-3 addition. All right, you may now go ahead. You are going to do number 1, even though I did it for you, so you're doing 1 through 15. Good luck.